Like a game of football, life is a set of two halves. You win, you lose, you're pushed down, and you get back up. And life keeps going most of the time. But for Paul Pogba, well, that hasn't been the case for several years, as his career has been on a downward spiral. Winning the World Cup 2 years after becoming the most expensive transfer in the world is surely the perfect ingredient to have a successful career unless you give it all away. And he did. How? You guys are about to find out. Sometimes I was by myself thinking, I don't want to play anymore. This is what Pogba said in a recent interview, and this mere sentence tells the story of his career. From being the greatest midfielder in the world to managing a mere 250 minutes for Juve since moving back, turbulent is the term that best describes his love affair with football. This comes just a decade after signing for the Turin club on a free transfer. Pogba became the face of the club, championship after championship, being part of the FIFA Pro World 11. He was the real deal. The 4 years at Juve represented the pinnacle of Pogba's career. Having joined a side that contained the best midfield in Serie A, including Andrea Pirlo, Claudio Marchisio and Arturo Vidal, Pogba, who was only 19 at the time, forced his way into the side to such an extent that then Juve boss Antonio Conte was forced to alter his system to accommodate Pogba's burgeoning talent. Doing all of this in your late teens and early 20s, Pogba was set to become the face of football for the next decade. Pirlo was the majestic midfielder who controlled everything. Vidal was the warrior who was equally adept at scoring as he was at tackling. Marchisio was a blend of guile and precision, whilst Pogba was the icing on the cake, a player who could do everything uncomfortably. Too comfortably, in fact. In his final year at Juve, Pogba inherited the fabled number 10 shirt when Carlos Tevez returned to Argentina. He more than lived up to the lineage of the number, and at times was so much better than the opposition in Serie A. It resembled an adult playing amongst kids. He was too good, too early, far too much even for himself. Already being talked about as among the greatest midfielders of all time, he had everything at the Turin club, but he wanted more, and he got it. In 2016, he signed for Manchester United in what was described by many as the guy who would take United back to the top. The much anticipated move came and was met with so much hype. This looked like the second coming of Jesus, but bigger and better. It was a huge responsibility, even for a guy like Pogba, but he loved challenges. He was made for them. This was his bread and butter, and it clicked. Rome wasn't built in a day, and this United rebuild would have taken time. But things already started to look better. In the first season, they won the Europa and League Cup double. This was his stage to take them on to win the league. However, things took a different turn, and Pogba would never reach the heights with United as he did with Juventus. The Premier League is a different ballgame, no offence to Serie A, but the riches of the English league go far and way beyond any other. It's the NBA of football. Every day a star is born. Careers, dreams. You have to keep pace with this league, and Pogba just couldn't do that. His 6 years at Manchester United were a cocktail of occasionally good performances sprinkled with eye-catching haircuts, and the impression overall that Pogba didn't want to be there. He never proved, like Juventus, that United should be building a team around him, and his relationship with the manager worsened everything. He did experience a lot of success on the international stage though, including winning the World Cup with France in 2018. He showed the world he still had it and was the man of the match in the final. Leading France to glory, United fans looked on with a sorry eye, hoping for him to replicate this form at the Theatre of Dreams. But that dream never materialised and was soon buried. United has become somewhat of a graveyard for high-end talent. They shattered the English transfer record at the time to sign him, yet they didn't utilise him to his strengths. You very nearly got the feeling that United hadn't watched any of Pogba's games at Juve and had this singular, generational talent that they had no idea what to do with. He felt lost in games and no one was helping. In fact, things got even worse for him. Kidnappings, public fallout with brothers, everything was going on in his life. And eventually, amid a failing United career in the midst of constantly changing managers, Pogba decided to move on, or should we say, move back. Paul Pogba once again signed for Juventus. A similar environment with the fans on your side and less playing pressure in a less popular league was all that Pogba needed. This visit back to familiar conditions would have been helpful in ideal conditions, but no, it was fruitless. In fact, it was worse than that. Although he joined Juventus just 15 months ago, he's only played 213 minutes in all competitions. His Italian comeback has been marred by 8 different injuries, and since he earns over €10 million a season, he's easily Juventus' highest paid player. Neither the club nor the player signed up for this. This transfer was Pogba's way of giving a message to United about how they mistreated him, but it became a seal on all the doubts that the pundits had about him and how offloading him was in fact the best decision for both parties. Just as things started to look better again, with him coming back onto the field after a long hiatus, all hell broke loose. Following his team's 3-0 victory over Udinese on August the 20th, in which he was an unused sub, Pogba was given a provisional suspension following a random drug test. His B sample was then tested. If found guilty of doping, Pogba, who tested positive on that B sample, is facing a 2 to 4 year suspension, with Juventus considering what to do with his contract. As things stand, in the event that Pogba's appeal is unsuccessful, Juventus is able to terminate his current contract with 2.5 years remaining. With Juve posting losses of €120 million for the 22-23 season, this is likely to be the club's course of action. This would save the club €20 million in the process. The Frenchman's agent Raphael Prometer said, "What is certain is that Paul Pogba never wanted to break a rule. Naturally, he was fuming with the decision, whilst the Juventus coach also distanced himself from the incident. I didn't know, I found out now," he told a press conference before the team's game with Torino. "Let's wait. Humanly, I feel sorry for Paul." The guy who was touted as the second coming of Zidane, the successor of Iniesta and Xavi in the European midfield heritage, the guy who would take United to its former glory, now faces career-ending investigations into his drug history. Wherever the ball settles, no matter what the decision is, down the years, when Pogba sits back and reminisces on his career, surely he'll be thinking one thing: what could have been? And with that, this video comes to an end. Do like and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. We'll be back very soon, but until then, check these videos out now.